Dear Chosen One, first, I want to express my deepest gratitude to each of you who has supported this channel through super thanks. Your generosity, whether through a donation or simply by being here, means the world to me. Thank you for contributing to the growth of this space, where we can explore the unique journey of the Chosen Ones together. Your support helps keep this channel thriving, and I am incredibly thankful for your presence, regardless of whether you donate or not. Since always, those who carry a special calling walk differently. The world sees them, but does not always understand them. Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit in, like people around you see something different in you, but they can't quite put it into words? If you feel that some people look at you differently, that there is a mix of curiosity and discomfort around you, it is not by chance. They know. Being chosen doesn't mean being better than anyone else. It means that you have been set apart, marked by a purpose that few comprehend. And this difference does not go unnoticed. Your presence makes an impact. Some feel respect and admiration. Others react with envy, resistance, or even rejection. Can you relate to this? Have you noticed that some people approach you without even being able to explain why? That they seek you for advice, that they feel safe in your presence? Have you ever wondered why they turn to you when they need clarity, guidance, or reassurance? At the same time, have you noticed that there are those who avoid you, who show an inexplicable discomfort, who seem to want to belittle you for no reason? Why do you think this happens? This happens because your light reveals what many try to hide. The chosen do not need to speak much to be noticed. The energy they carry speaks for itself. Some people will want to be near you to absorb a bit of that essence. Others will feel threatened because your presence exposes their own weaknesses. How does that make you feel? In this video, I will show you 7 proofs that people know you are the chosen one. These situations may have happened to you without you realizing the true meaning behind them, but after today, you will understand what is really happening and how to deal with it. Stay with me until the end, because what you will learn here can completely change the way you view your journey. And before we begin, a warning: this channel is not for everyone. Here, we speak to the chosen ones, those who feel that their walk is different. If you identified with this message, leave the comment 999. You are not alone. Here, you will find answers that no one else has given you. Now let's get started. God's chosen ones, 7 proofs that show people know you are the chosen one. Proof 1. They feel unexplained antipathy. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the energy shift? It's as if there's an invisible wall between you and certain people, and no matter what you do, they just don't like you. There's no argument, no fight, no misunderstanding to explain their behavior. Yet, you can feel the coldness, the sideways glances, the uncomfortable silences, or even the veiled hostility in their eyes. You may not have said a word, yet you know something's off. It's a disheartening feeling, but for the chosen ones, this is a sign that something much deeper is at work. Why does this happen? Why is it that no matter how hard you try, some people simply do not like you? It's not because you did something wrong, but because your very essence, your energy, challenges them. This rejection is not based on actions, but on your being, on the light you carry within you. This light shines brightly and forces others to confront things they may not be ready to face. It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling, and in their discomfort they react. They pull away, they avoid you, or in some cases they criticize you harshly. Matthew 5:14-16 speaks directly to this dynamic. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. As one of the chosen, you carry this light, this divine essence that illuminates everything around you. And when you shine this light, it naturally exposes the darkness in others. It forces them to confront parts of themselves they are not ready to face. Have you noticed that some people will distance themselves from you without an explanation? They'll refuse to engage in conversation, or worse, they'll make passive-aggressive remarks about you, calling you arrogant, difficult, or too different. But is this truly about who you are, or is it a reflection of their inability to handle the truth you represent? Proverbs 3:25-26 reassures us, "Do not be afraid of sudden terror, or of the ruin of the wicked when it comes, for the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught." You see, when you're chosen, your light is your confidence, and those who feel uncomfortable in its presence will resort to deflecting by criticizing you. It's easier for them to attack what they don't understand than to confront the truth that makes them uncomfortable. The chosen ones often experience this phenomenon with people who are not yet awake to their own purpose, or who are still trapped in their own insecurities. For these individuals, your authenticity is a threat to the walls they've carefully constructed to protect themselves from facing their own fears. Your presence exposes what they have kept hidden, and rather than acknowledging their discomfort, they push it onto you. But why should this matter to you? Is it worth changing yourself to gain their approval? Absolutely not. In fact, John 15:18 offers a powerful reminder. If the world hates you, know that it hated me first. Rejection is a sign that you are walking a path of purpose, a path that challenges the world's norms. It's an indication that you are on the right track, and the discomfort others feel around you is simply a reflection of their inability to handle the light you carry. Reflect for a moment on Mahatma Gandhi, a man whose commitment to truth and non-violence brought him worldwide admiration, yet also subjected him to criticism and hostility. Many of his detractors saw his beliefs as a threat to the status quo. Rather than bending to their discomfort, Gandhi held firm in his purpose, understanding that his light was meant to shine regardless of whether others were ready to accept it. Similarly, Nelson Mandela faced a great deal of antipathy throughout his life. He was rejected by those who couldn't handle his vision for a racially equal South Africa. His very presence and message of unity challenged the deeply held prejudices of many. Yet Mandela did not falter. He remained true to his calling, knowing that his light would not be embraced by everyone. And in the end, those who rejected him were the ones who missed the opportunity to experience the fullness of his truth. Oprah Winfrey faced similar challenges early in her career. Despite her talents, many criticized her for being too emotional or too open, as her authenticity made others uncomfortable. Yet, Oprah persisted. She remained true to her light, knowing that her purpose was greater than the criticism she received. Her willingness to be vulnerable and share her truth has made her a beacon of hope and inspiration for millions around the world. Isaiah 61 reminds us, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." The discomfort others feel in your presence is not something you need to apologize for. Instead, it is a testament to the power and truth you embody. You are not called to fit into the world's mold, but to stand firm in your purpose, regardless of how others react. So, how should you respond when faced with this antipathy? Should you shrink back or try to change to fit in? The answer is clear: no. Embrace your light, chosen one. Understand that your purpose is not meant to please everyone. It's meant to shine. Those who are meant to walk with you will remain, and those who cannot handle your truth will naturally distance themselves. And in the end, that's perfectly fine. After all, 1 Peter 2:9 reminds us that, "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." As you continue on your journey, remember, you are not defined by the rejection of others. Your light is a gift to this world, and even when it makes others uncomfortable, it is precisely what the world needs. Embrace it. Keep shining. Proof 2. Fixed and prolonged gazes. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the weight of everyone's eyes on you, even though you haven't said a word? Why do people seem to be staring, even when you don't understand why? It's as if your presence commands attention, whether you're on the street, at work, or in a casual encounter. Does it make you feel uneasy, or are you starting to notice that something much deeper is at play? As one of God's chosen ones, your presence is magnetic, and it doesn't go unnoticed. 1 Corinthians 2:14 tells us, "The person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit of God, but considers them foolishness, and cannot understand them, because they are discerned only through the Spirit." Have you ever wondered why some people are drawn to you, even though they can't explain it? It's your energy. You carry a presence that others sense, even before they fully comprehend it. Your light radiates, and it's impossible for people to ignore. Why do you think that some people stare at you with admiration, while others can't seem to take their eyes off you with discomfort or even judgment? This attention isn't about your appearance. It's about the divine energy you carry. Matthew 7:15-16 reminds us, "Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them." As one of the chosen, you bear the fruit of authenticity, and your presence exposes what is false in others, which can lead to discomfort. Have you ever noticed how your light makes people confront their own insecurities? The truth you carry challenges them, even if they don't understand why. So, what happens when people stare at you with curiosity? Could it be that they sense something different about you? Perhaps they are trying to decipher your essence, your authenticity, or the power you carry. Some will gaze in admiration, some in confusion, and others in discomfort. John 1:5 says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Could it be that your presence shines in ways that force others to face their own darkness? Your light exposes what others may prefer to hide, and that often leads to prolonged gazes. Consider the example of Beyoncé, whose presence commands attention not only because of her talent, but because of her authenticity. Have you ever wondered why people are drawn to her, even when she's silent? It's her energy. She exudes confidence, strength, and authenticity, qualities that naturally draw others in. Why do you think some people find themselves staring at her, captivated by something they can't fully explain? Similarly, Serena Williams has always been someone whose energy demands attention. When she steps onto the tennis court, people can't take their eyes off her. But why is that? What is it about her presence that is so captivating? It's the way she carries herself, the authenticity, the strength, and the grace in her every move. Could it be that this same energy is what draws people's eyes to you? Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit into the patterns of the world around you? Could it be that you are meant to stand out, to shine, and to not conform to what others expect of you? Your authenticity naturally attracts attention, whether it's from those who admire you or from those who are unsettled by your presence. What about the discomfort, the judgment you feel from some people's prolonged stares? Is it possible that these stares are a reflection of their inability to handle your light? 2 Corinthians 2:15-16 states, "For we are to God the pleasing aroma of Christ among those who are being saved and those who are perishing. To the one we are an aroma that brings death, to the other an aroma that brings life." Do you ever wonder why some people are drawn to you while others seem to resist or criticize you? Your presence is like a fragrance, pleasing to those who embrace it and overwhelming to those who can't yet accept it. Take a moment to reflect on Steve Jobs, a man whose energy commanded attention and sparked innovation. Why do you think people were captivated by his vision and ideas? It wasn't just his genius, it was his unwavering confidence in his purpose. His presence was magnetic and people noticed. Could this be why you too attract attention wherever you go, not because of what you do, but because of who you are? Eleanor Roosevelt, another powerful example, faced similar prolonged gazes throughout her life. Why do you think people were so intrigued by her? It was because she didn't conform. She walked in her truth and was unapologetically authentic, which drew attention from both admirers and critics. Could it be that, like her, your authenticity attracts attention in the same way? Philippians 2:15 encourages us to shine like stars in the sky. Have you ever thought about how your light is meant to shine in this world? It doesn't need to be hidden, it needs to be seen. When people stare at you, instead of feeling uncomfortable, consider it a reflection of your impact. Your presence leaves an impression, and those who are meant to see your light will always notice it. So, next time you feel the weight of those gazes, ask yourself, what is it about me that makes people stop and stare? What is it that draws their attention? You are not just another person in the room. You are the light of the world, chosen by God to shine. Don't shrink back. Embrace the attention, knowing that it's not about vanity, it's about purpose. Keep shining, chosen one, for the world needs the light you carry. Proof 3. People try to imitate you. Have you ever noticed that people around you begin to adopt your habits, phrases, or even interests, often without you saying a word? It can be subtle at first. Someone starts using the same expressions you frequently use, or they begin doing the things you love to do. Perhaps they take on certain mannerisms that are uniquely yours. This is no coincidence. As one of God's chosen ones, your presence alone commands attention. But why does this happen? What is it about you that causes others to mimic your ways of acting, speaking, and thinking? John 8:12 says, "When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, 'I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life.'" Just like Jesus' light could not be ignored, neither can yours. Your authenticity and the strength of your spirit shine brightly. Even those who do not understand your path are instinctively drawn to this light. Your essence, your way of thinking, being, and living becomes so magnetic that others feel compelled to absorb it. At first, this imitation may seem like a coincidence. Maybe you notice that someone begins to use the same expressions, take interest in the same things, or perhaps they start adopting some of your daily routines. Over time, this imitation becomes more pronounced. What once seemed like an innocent mirroring of behavior gradually reveals itself as an attempt to reproduce what makes you so authentic. But why does this happen? Why do others feel compelled to mimic you? The truth is, the authenticity you carry is rare. Matthew 7:13-14 tells us, "Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." As the chosen one, you walk the narrow road, the path of truth, authenticity, and purpose, and that road is one that others seek to follow, even if they don't fully understand it. People notice your fearlessness in being yourself, and they are drawn to that strength, even if they don't realize it. However, not all imitation is intentional. Some people begin to mirror your actions because being around you feels transformative. Have you ever wondered why others begin to subtly change their behaviors after spending time with you? Perhaps they adopt a new perspective or start acting with the confidence and conviction they once lacked. It's as if your energy rubs off on them. Proverbs 27:17 reminds us, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Your presence sharpens those around you, and they begin to embody the very strength and truth you live out. But not all imitation is innocent. Some people may try to absorb your essence without fully understanding the deeper meaning behind it. Have you ever felt that someone was trying to take more than just your style or expressions? They might mimic your behaviors, but they fail to grasp the core of who you are. They attempt to replicate your strength without understanding that this strength isn't found in appearance. It's born from the deep connection you have with God and the journey you've walked. Isaiah 40:31 offers us encouragement. "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Your strength comes from your faith, not from surface-level actions, and it cannot be imitated. Imitation takes many forms. It may start with someone mimicking your style, dressing like you, wearing similar accessories, or even choosing the same colors or patterns that you prefer. Others may try to copy your words or your manner of speech, perhaps adopting the phrases you commonly use. Some might even frequent the same places you go, thinking that by doing so, they can capture your essence. But this is where the danger lies, because the true power you carry is not in your outward appearance or actions. It lies in your inner truth, which cannot be replicated by anyone. James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him." Wisdom, like strength, is a gift that can't be borrowed or faked. It is born from your experiences, your relationship with God, and your willingness to stay true to yourself. Rosa Parks, for example, became a symbol of courage and authenticity in the face of injustice. Her refusal to give up her seat sparked a movement, but the essence of her bravery could never be fully replicated by anyone. Though others may have tried to imitate her act, none could truly walk in her shoes. Her authenticity came from the deep well of her personal experiences, and it's this essence that others were drawn to. Similarly, Malala Yousafzai, whose courage in advocating for girls' education despite threats to her life, has inspired millions. While others may have tried to adopt her advocacy style, they can never replicate the fierce passion and wisdom she carries from her personal experiences. Sometimes, imitation can lead to discomfort. The chosen one may question whether others are truly interested in them for who they are, or if they are just trying to absorb their energy. Galatians 6:4 reminds us, "Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else." Your journey is uniquely yours, and no one can replicate the truth you carry. Even if others try to imitate every detail of your actions, they will never be able to carry your essence. Your wisdom, your clarity, and your truth cannot be copied. Authenticity is not something that can be worn as a mask. It comes from deep within you, forged through your connection with God and your life experiences. Take Nelson Mandela, for example. His leadership and unwavering commitment to equality inspired millions. While others have tried to replicate his methods, they cannot capture the essence of his wisdom, strength, and resilience. It was born from the trials he faced, his time in prison, and his unwavering dedication to justice. Similarly, Ellen DeGeneres became an icon for authenticity and kindness. People tried to replicate her humor and warmth, but they could not replicate the authenticity that came from her life experiences and her genuine desire to bring people together. So, if you notice that people around you are trying to imitate you, don't worry. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." What you carry within you is so strong that it inspires change, even unintentionally. But don't let this imitation limit you or cause you to question your originality. The true chosen one does not need to copy anyone because they already carry everything they need within themselves. 1 Corinthians 11:1 reminds us, "Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ." The chosen one doesn't mold themselves to be accepted. They don't try to fit in or seek approval. Their freedom to be themselves becomes the very thing that inspires others. So continue to be yourself. Let others copy, try to decipher, and be inspired by your journey. But never lose yourself in the process. The true chosen one does not imitate, they inspire. Proof 4. Confusion and questions about you. Have you ever noticed people around you watching you, trying to figure you out, but you can sense they don't really understand what makes you tick? You may not have said anything, but they are drawn to you. It's as if your presence awakens a curiosity in them that they cannot easily explain. Why do you think this happens? Why are they so fascinated by your way of thinking, your ability to move through life with such confidence? 1 Corinthians 2:14 tells us, "The person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit of God, but considers them foolishness and cannot understand them because they are discerned only through the Spirit." The truth is, as the chosen one, you carry something special within you, something that others can feel, even if they don't understand it. It's not just about what you say or do, but about who you are. And that essence, that spark, attracts attention from those around you. They feel that you are different, but they can't quite put their finger on why. Do you sometimes catch people staring at you, their eyes filled with questions, curiosity, and even confusion? Have you ever wondered, why are they so interested in me? What do they think they can learn from me? Often, when people don't understand something, they are drawn to it even more. They want to unlock the secret of your confidence, your clarity, your fearlessness. But the truth is, there is no secret, only truth. John 8:32 says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Your freedom to live authentically, without worrying about the judgment of others, challenges those who are still uncertain of their own path. At first, their questions might seem harmless, even innocent. Why do you think that way? How can you be so sure of yourself? What makes you so confident in your beliefs? These questions can feel like an invitation to explain yourself, but do they truly want to understand? Or are they questioning you because your certainty exposes their own doubts? Why do you think people struggle to understand someone who is so self-assured? Someone who doesn't need the approval of others to walk confidently in their truth. Proverbs 4:23 reminds us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Your heart, the essence of your being, is pure, and that authenticity flows out of you in ways that others can't always grasp. Some may admire it, some may want to understand it, and others may even feel threatened by it. Have you ever felt uncomfortable when someone tried to probe too deeply into your thoughts, hoping to figure out what makes you tick? They can't understand that your strength isn't about external validation. It comes from within, your inner connection to God, your faith, and your unwavering belief in who you are. When others can't comprehend your clarity and independence, they may start testing you. They'll throw questions your way, challenge your decisions, or provoke you to see if they can shake your certainty. But why do they do this? Why do people feel the need to challenge someone who clearly knows who they are? John 15:19 says, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world." Your authenticity makes others uneasy because it exposes the contradictions in their own lives. They feel the tension between their own doubts and your unshakable truth, and they try to challenge it, not because they genuinely want answers, but because they are not ready to face their own insecurities. Take Frida Kahlo, for example. Her distinctive art and her unapologetic portrayal of pain, identity, and beauty challenged many conventions of her time. People were constantly trying to understand her fierce independence, her refusal to conform to societal norms. How could someone be so confident in expressing their most personal experiences and emotions? But the truth was, Frida didn't need anyone's approval. She had the courage to live her truth, and her authenticity inspired countless others. Muhammad Ali, too, faced similar questions about his self-assurance and defiance in the face of adversity. He was constantly questioned, even criticized for his beliefs, both in the boxing ring and outside of it. His boldness in standing up for what he believed in, regardless of what others thought, left people wondering, how could he be so certain? But Ali's confidence didn't come from seeking validation. It came from a place of deep conviction, from knowing who he was and what he stood for. His truth was his own, and that truth resonated with millions. Eleanor Roosevelt is another example of someone whose clarity in her purpose left others wondering how she could stand firm in her convictions. Known for her advocacy of human rights and social justice, Eleanor often faced opposition and confusion. People questioned her, wondering how she could be so confident in championing issues that many were reluctant to face. But Eleanor understood that her strength came from her own journey, her own connection to her purpose, and her faith in making a difference. When others can't understand your clarity, they often try to test your resolve. They may question your choices or provoke debates just to see if they can break your confidence. Why do you think this happens? It's because your unshakable belief in your truth challenges them to examine their own lives. Isaiah 55:8-9 tells us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Your ways, chosen one, are guided by a higher purpose, one that others may not understand, but that doesn't make it any less valid. So, what do you do when others are constantly questioning, probing, or testing you? Do you feel the need to explain yourself? James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him." You don't need to justify yourself to anyone. You don't need to defend your truth, because your essence speaks for itself. The clarity you carry will continue to shine, and those who are meant to understand will be drawn to you. Those who are not ready will remain puzzled, but that's not your concern. Your truth is your gift, and those who need to see it will. So keep walking in your authenticity, chosen one. Let others question, test, and try to figure you out, but never lose your footing in the process. Trust that you are living your truth, and those who are ready to understand will seek you out. Your clarity and confidence are not for everyone to understand, but they are meant to shine in this world, inspiring others along the way. Proof 5. People feel nervous around you. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately noticed that some people seem to become uneasy around you, even without you saying a word? Maybe they avoid eye contact, fidget nervously, or struggle to maintain a conversation. Have you ever wondered, what is it about me that makes them feel this way? Why do some people get so uncomfortable simply by being in your presence? 1 John 4:18 tells us, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love." The discomfort people feel around you is not about fear in the conventional sense, but rather about the powerful energy you radiate. Your presence is grounded in truth, and for those who have not yet fully embraced their own authenticity, this truth can be challenging. They feel it, even if they can't articulate it, and this creates discomfort because your energy forces them to confront things within themselves that they may not be ready to face. Have you ever noticed that when you talk to certain people, they begin to act strangely, looking away, avoiding eye contact, or perhaps even becoming overly fidgety? What do you think it is about your presence that causes them to react this way? It's not that you have done anything wrong, but rather that your very being shakes the comfort zone of those who are not accustomed to being around someone who exudes such self-assurance. Your energy is different. You carry security, clarity, and a grounded sense of purpose. You know who you are, and you are sure of where you're headed. This is powerful. Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world." A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. The truth you embody cannot be ignored. It stands out like a beacon in the dark. And for those who are still wandering in uncertainty, this can be unsettling. They feel exposed, as if they are being held up against the light of your authenticity, and are unsure how to respond. Why do you think that when people encounter your certainty, they sometimes become nervous or anxious? Is it because they feel small in comparison? Or is it because your unwavering confidence forces them to face their own insecurities and fears? Proverbs 4:23 tells us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Your strength doesn't come from external validation. It flows from within. And this unshakable foundation you possess creates a powerful ripple effect, one that others can sense, even if they don't understand it. For some people, especially those who are used to living behind masks, your authenticity is a stark contrast. They have spent years hiding behind layers of societal expectations and personas, never fully revealing their true selves. Your unmasked, unapologetic confidence challenges their carefully constructed facades. John 8:32 reminds us, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Your truth, the way you live so genuinely and confidently, exposes the cracks in their own self-perception, and that can cause discomfort. It awakens something deep inside them that they might not be ready to confront, the truth about who they are and who they've been pretending to be. Have you ever had people question you, try to provoke you, or challenge your views in ways that didn't feel genuine? Perhaps they were testing you, trying to find some weakness or flaw in your beliefs. This is not because they want to understand you, but because your authenticity shakes their sense of self. Romans 8:31 offers this encouragement. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? People who are still unsure of themselves will often try to challenge those who are sure of their path, because your certainty exposes their uncertainty. Consider Mahatma Gandhi, whose refusal to conform to the expectations of his time made others uneasy. His peaceful resistance to British colonial rule wasn't just a political statement, it was a radical declaration of truth, of personal and collective empowerment. Gandhi's confidence and strength in his beliefs challenged both the British government and his own people, who were uncertain of how to achieve such change. People struggled to understand how someone could maintain such conviction, such strength, without relying on violence or intimidation. Similarly, Malala Yousafzai has faced a great deal of discomfort from those who disagree with her mission to champion girls' education. Her unwavering commitment to her cause, even after surviving an assassination attempt, has made her a symbol of strength and determination. But for those who are still stuck in outdated societal norms, her boldness challenges them in ways they're not ready to face. The fact that Malala is so confident in her cause and so sure of her voice forces others to question their own courage and purpose. Michelle Obama also serves as a powerful example of someone whose presence invokes both admiration and discomfort. Her journey from the South Side of Chicago to the White House was one that inspired millions, but it also caused discomfort for those who were not ready to embrace her authenticity. Michelle never molded herself to fit in with the expectations placed on her, and that confidence, her unapologetic love for herself and her family, made others uneasy. But it was precisely this confidence that drew people to her, showing them what true authenticity looks like. When you notice people becoming nervous around you, it's not your burden to bear. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." Your strength is derived from your connection to God and your firm belief in your purpose. Those who are uneasy in your presence are simply being confronted by their own doubts, their own insecurities, and their own fear of stepping into their truth. Your authenticity shines a light on what others have hidden, and for those who are not ready to confront their shadows, this light can be uncomfortable. But remember, the discomfort people feel around you is not a reflection of something you have done wrong. It's simply a reflection of the impact your energy has. You are here not to make others feel comfortable, but to fulfill your purpose. Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." You do not need to change who you are to fit in with others. Your presence, your authenticity, your unshakable faith will continue to challenge those who are ready to awaken, and this is your purpose. The world needs people who are not afraid to live in their truth, even if that truth causes some discomfort. And you, chosen one, are one of those people. So, if you notice people reacting this way around you, do not be alarmed. Let them feel nervous. Let them question. You're not here to make everyone comfortable. You are here to inspire, to challenge, and to awaken those who are ready to step into their own truth. Continue to walk confidently in who you are, because those who are meant to walk beside you will be drawn to your light. Proof 6. They seek your validation. Have you ever noticed that people often turn to you for advice, looking for validation and seeking affirmation for the decisions they make? It might happen in subtle ways. Someone casually asks what you think about a particular choice, or more directly, they ask for your opinion on major decisions in their life. Why do you think people come to you so frequently? What is it about you that makes others trust your judgment, even when you haven't sought to be a source of guidance? Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Your clarity of thought and intuitive wisdom are rooted in a deep understanding and connection with God. This gives you an inner strength and confidence that others may not have, and they naturally gravitate toward you when they need direction. People see something in you that they don't find in others. A calm certainty, a grounded perspective, and this is why they seek your validation. This occurs because your way of seeing life is different. Matthew 7:24 says, "Therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock." While many people live their lives in confusion or uncertainty, you have a foundation of clarity and wisdom that gives you the ability to see beyond the surface. Even when you don't have all the answers, Your way of processing information provides those around you with a sense of security. Isaiah 55:8-9 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." The clarity you possess comes from a higher place, a deeper connection to your purpose, which naturally attracts others who are searching for direction. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where someone starts off talking casually, but eventually they share a personal dilemma or a life decision, hoping you'll offer insight or confirm what they should do? They might not ask directly, but you can sense that they are waiting for you to guide them. What do you think it is about you that draws people to seek your opinion, even when they haven't explicitly asked for it? Your presence alone seems to communicate security, and without you even trying, people begin to depend on your judgment. Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice." Your clarity and ability to understand situations from multiple angles make you a trusted source of wisdom. For those who might feel unsure of their own decisions or unsure of themselves, your advice brings a sense of direction. It offers them comfort, like a compass guiding them through the fog of doubt. Even when you don't have all the answers, your perspective brings peace to their inner turmoil. Consider Angela Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany, whose leadership was characterized by calmness and unwavering consistency. Throughout her tenure, people looked to her for validation, not just on political matters, but also on how to approach crises. Merkel's decision-making and strong moral compass became a model for others. Despite the complexity of her role, she remained grounded, and that groundedness inspired confidence and trust in her judgment, causing many to seek her advice and validation. Similarly, Martin Luther King Jr., in the midst of the civil rights movement, was often sought out for his wisdom and direction, not just for his leadership in fighting racial injustice, but for his ability to provide clarity and hope to those who were uncertain about the future. His words and actions guided a movement, offering validation to countless individuals who felt lost in the struggle for equality. King's steady vision and his unwavering belief in justice made him a figure others sought for direction, both in the fight for civil rights and in their own personal lives. Brené Brown, a researcher and author, has also become a source of validation for millions. Her work on vulnerability and shame has impacted individuals globally, especially those who were seeking clarity on how to live more authentically. People turned to Brené because her words provided validation for the difficult emotions they were experiencing. She has built an entire platform on encouraging people to trust themselves and embrace vulnerability, something that resonates deeply in a world that often tells us to hide our true selves. While it can be gratifying to know that your presence impacts others positively, constantly being sought out for validation can also become a burden. Luke 6:31 tells us, "Do to others as you would have them do to you." It's a beautiful principle of giving and receiving, but it can sometimes feel overwhelming. When people repeatedly seek your guidance or approval, it can become draining, especially if you're not always in a position to offer answers. Sometimes you may also need time for yourself to reflect, to make your own decisions, and to focus on your own path. Yet, the people around you might not understand your need for space. Have you ever felt drained or overwhelmed by others depending on you for guidance? Why do you think they struggle to trust their own instincts or make decisions without asking for your validation? It's important to recognize that while your guidance is valuable, it's also essential to empower others to trust themselves and make their own decisions. Romans 14:12 reminds us, "So then, each of us will give an account of ourselves to God." You are not meant to carry the weight of others' choices. Your role is to offer wisdom and guidance, but the true growth comes when others learn to make decisions for themselves. Your wisdom is a gift, but it is not your job to be everyone's compass. Psalm 25:5 says, "Guide me in your truth and teach me, for you are God my Savior, and my hope is in you all day long." While it's fulfilling to help others, your mission is not to carry their burdens, but to inspire them to walk their own paths with confidence. Your wisdom can lead others to discover their own strength and intuition, but they must learn to trust their own judgment as well. If you notice that people are constantly turning to you for advice or validation, it's a clear sign of the impact you have. But remember, you are not meant to be the source of everyone's certainty. You are here to awaken others to their own inner wisdom. Philippians 4:13 encourages us, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." Just as you rely on God's guidance, others must learn to trust the strength and clarity they have within themselves. So continue to offer your wisdom, but remember to maintain boundaries. Your purpose is to inspire others to discover their own path, not to carry the weight of their decisions. Your mission is not to be their constant guide, but to awaken the courage in them to step into their own light. Proof 7. Obsession with your failures. Have you ever noticed how, despite your successes, some people seem more focused on your failures? It's almost as if they are waiting for you to make a mistake. Why do you think that is? Why do some people seem to fixate on your flaws or setbacks instead of celebrating your progress? James 1:2-3 tells us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Your journey is full of challenges and moments of failure, but these moments are not signs of defeat, they are part of the process. And yet, why do some people seem so obsessed with seeing you fall instead of learning from your resilience? Could it be that your growth makes them feel threatened? Your presence forces a reaction. People who have not yet found the courage to evolve themselves feel discomfort when they witness your progress. Matthew 5:11-12 reminds us, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." When you succeed, these people remain silent, but when you stumble, they seize the opportunity to critique. These individuals who prefer to focus on your missteps feel justified in their own lack of action. They use your failures as a way to excuse their own complacency. Proverbs 4:23 tells us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." When they see you stumble, they think, "If even they fail, maybe I don't need to try either." Do you find yourself in situations where others justify their own inaction by pointing to your mistakes? Why do you think they would rather focus on your setbacks than learn from your perseverance? Vera Wang is a perfect example of someone who faced significant setbacks before achieving success. Early in her career, she was turned down by Vogue for a job and faced rejection from the fashion industry numerous times. Despite these failures, Wang did not give up. Instead, she kept evolving, eventually becoming one of the most iconic designers of her time. People who waited for her to fail were left silent as her successes piled up. Do you think her setbacks were a reflection of her failure or part of a larger, ongoing process of growth? How do you respond to the challenges that come your way? Do they inspire you to keep pushing forward? Similarly, Walt Disney was rejected numerous times before his big break. His ideas were laughed at, and his first animation company went bankrupt. Yet, Disney's failures became the foundation for the incredible empire that is now Disney. Why do you think people who watched him fail were so quick to criticize, but remained silent when he succeeded? His story shows that failure is not a final destination. It is a pit stop on the journey to greater things. Rosa Parks faced a similar situation. Her defiance by refusing to give up her seat on the bus was seen by some as an act of failure, one that led to her arrest. However, Park's courage sparked a movement that changed the world. Those who focused on her initial failure missed the deeper truth. Her decision did not end in defeat. It led to immense societal change. Have you ever been criticized for standing firm in your beliefs, even when others couldn't see the bigger picture? How do you respond when people focus on your stumbles rather than your accomplishments? The focus on your failures reflects more about others than about you. Isaiah 40:31 encourages us, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Your failures don't define you. They are part of your process, and each time you rise, you become stronger. But why do you think others get so fixated on your failures, rather than celebrating your perseverance? Could it be that they see your strength and feel that it challenges their own stagnation? Have you ever felt burdened by the weight of others' expectations, especially when they seem more focused on your mistakes than your growth? Romans 5:3-4 tells us, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." Your failures are opportunities for you to learn and grow, but for some, they are proof that you are no different from them. Malala Yousafzai is an inspiring example. After surviving an assassination attempt by the Taliban, she could have chosen to hide in fear. Instead, she emerged as a powerful advocate for girls' education, inspiring millions around the world. Some focused on her initial failure to remain silent, but Malala's response was to continue her mission with even more determination. Why do you think some people focus so much on her challenges, while others focus on her triumphs? Is it easier for some to wait for someone to fall, rather than celebrating their ability to rise again? The truth is that when others focus on your failures, it is a reflection of the impact you are having. Psalm 23:4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Your journey forces others to confront their own fears and limitations. And while they may focus on your mistakes, they fail to realize that your ability to rise after each failure is what truly defines you. The chosen one is not defined by the judgment of others, but by the strength to keep going, to keep rising no matter how many times you stumble. Philippians 3:14 encourages us, "I press on toward the goal, to win the prize, for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." The mission of the chosen one is not to please everyone, but to continue moving forward with unwavering faith. So, when you notice people watching for your downfall, don't let their fixation on your failures deter you. Keep moving forward. Isaiah 41:10 reminds us, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Keep rising, keep learning, and keep growing. The chosen one's power lies not in never failing, but in always rising again. Beloved chosen one, you have felt the gazes, sensed the weight of others' expectations, and noticed how your presence leaves a mark on those around you. Throughout this journey, you have encountered people who approach you, seeking your light and wisdom, while others, unable to handle the strength you carry, try to diminish your spirit. At times, loneliness may feel like a heavy burden, but understand this: your solitude is not a punishment, it is an essential part of your preparation. God separates those with a special calling, because not everyone can walk at the same pace. Some will fall behind, while others may attempt to keep up, but they won't fully understand who you are or where you're going. You will feel the distance, the need to step away from places that no longer serve your growth. This detachment is not a mistake. It is a refining process. In moments of isolation, your mind, faith, and resilience are strengthened. They are being shaped for the extraordinary journey ahead. While many continue their lives without questioning, you feel a deeper call, something beyond the ordinary. That sense of being different is not an illusion. It is the truth of your divine calling. The world may observe you, try to imitate your path, or even reject you, but do not doubt who you are. What sets you apart is the very thing that strengthens you. The path of the chosen one is not paved for crowds. It is meant for those who have the courage to walk even without applause, without understanding, and without guarantees. Every challenge you face is part of your divine construction. Nothing, not even the closed doors, the distancing, or the doubts cast upon you, has been in vain. All of it was necessary for you to become who you are today. You do not need to change to fit in. You do not need to mold yourself to please anyone. The chosen one does not blend in, they lead. I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support, whether it's through watching, commenting, or sharing these messages. If this content has resonated with you and you feel inspired, I would be deeply grateful if you could consider showing your support through Super Thanks. Please know, whether or not you choose to donate, I am incredibly grateful for you being here, for sharing in this journey, and for allowing me to share these messages with you. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to share it with others who might also be going through this unique phase. You are not alone in this journey. Many experience it, but only a few truly understand why. If you want to continue receiving content that speaks to this journey, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Here we discuss what many may not understand, but what the chosen ones feel. May you continue to walk confidently in your purpose, knowing that every challenge you face is part of the divine plan that is shaping you. I pray that God strengthens you, fills your heart with courage, and leads you through every trial with grace. You are destined for greatness. Keep shining, chosen one.